How to actually learn the guitar fretboard. If you've been playing guitar for a while and still had to stop and think about where the notes are, you're not alone. A lot of guitarists can play songs, chords, scales, and riffs while still having very little idea what's actually happening across the fretboard, and that's what we're fixing in this video. Let's start with the biggest misconception. You don't have 20-something frets to memorize. If you look at a guitar, it seems like you're staring at 20-something frets across 6 different strings. That's a lot of information, but there's a really important shortcut. The 12th fret. Play an open string. Now play that same string at the 12th fret. It's the same note, just 1 octave higher, and this happens on every string. So the notes from the 1st fret through the 11th fret repeat again after the 12th. That means you don't need to think of the entire neck as one giant thing you have to memorize. Learn the first half, then use the 12th fret as your reference point for everything above it. That immediately makes the job feel much more manageable. The 12 notes. The next thing you need to understand is that there aren't hundreds of different notes on the fretboard. There are only 12. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp. Then the pattern starts again at A. Think of it like a clock. You go around the 12 numbers and eventually return to the beginning. The guitar works in the same basic way. You move through those 12 notes, and once you've gone through all of them, the sequence repeats. That's what you're seeing when you move up the fretboard. The same group of notes keeps coming back. There are also 2 important gaps to know about. There isn't a sharp between B and C, and there isn't a sharp between E and F. Every other pair of natural notes has a sharp between them. You don't need to overcomplicate that. Just remember those 2 exceptions. The strings are connected. Now here's where the guitar gets really interesting. The strings aren't 6 independent things. They're connected by a repeating relationship. Play the 5th fret of the 6th string. That matches the open 5th string. The 5th fret of the 5th string matches the open 4th. The 4th fret of the 4th matches the open 3rd. Then we get to the B string. This time it's the 4th fret of the G string that matches the open B. Then it's back to the 5th fret for the high E. This is the exact same relationship that makes relative tuning work, but it's useful for much more than tuning. Once you know that one note is connected to another note across strings, you can start seeing patterns across the fretboard rather than treating every string as a separate thing. And there's one particularly obvious connection. The 6th string and 1st string are both E, so the same notes appear on both strings. They're simply 2 octaves apart. That's another reason the fretboard is much more repetitive than it initially appears. So how do you actually memorize it? The solution isn't to stare at fretboard diagrams for hours. You need to practice finding the notes on the actual guitar. Here's a simple exercise. Pick one note. Let's use A. Now find every A on the fretboard. Don't just say where you think it is, actually put your finger on it. Go across all 6 strings. Then do it again. Use a metronome if you want to turn it into a timed exercise. Once you've done A, move to another note, C, then G, then F. You don't have to learn all 12 in one sitting. 5 focused minutes every day is enough to start building the connection. And here's an important distinction. You don't want to recognize the note when you see it. You want to be able to recall where it is when somebody asks you. That's why finding the notes yourself is so much more useful than just staring at a diagram. Eventually, you want to be able to hear or think of a note and immediately know where you can find it. That's when the fretboard starts becoming familiar. Why this actually matters? You might be wondering why any of this matters if you can already play songs. And honestly, you can absolutely play guitar without memorizing the fretboard, but you're going to hit a ceiling. If you don't know where the notes are, you're often forced to think in shapes. This scale starts here. This chord looks like this. This lick goes here. That's useful, but eventually you want to know what's underneath those shapes. When you know the notes, a scale isn't just a shape. A chord isn't just a shape. A lick isn't just a collection of finger movements. You start seeing the actual musical information underneath what you're playing. And that's when the fretboard becomes useful instead of just being the place where you put your fingers. So don't try to memorize the entire neck tonight. Understand the 12 notes. Understand the 12th fret. Understand how the strings connect. Then spend a few minutes every day actually finding notes. That's the process. And if you stick with it, eventually you'll stop thinking about where the notes are at all. You'll just know.